If I think back to a year ago, there was intense activity because first lockdown had just started, and that it was up to the TBA to save the covering season. Without the COVID protocols that we put in place, without the conversations, discussions that we had with the government and with the veterinary representative bodies, that the covering season would have ceased. And so that, if nothing else, we did a Mighty Mouse last year and came along and saved the day as far as the covering season was concerned. That was hugely important, and the protocols that we put in place a year ago are still holding good now and have held good throughout. We haven't had any breaks of discipline, and that it was a given that this year's covering season was going to continue as last year's did. Brexit has been something on our agenda for the last 4 or 5 years, with increasing intensity. Both Julian and Claire and Peter have worked extremely hard to make sure that our voice was heard in a myriad of legislation where the industry could clearly have been lost. So fantastic job so far. You may not think so far that what we've got is what you'd like, but we're working towards it, and that it's certainly a great deal better than what would have been had there not been this strong representation by the TBA. Industry representation is an important part of our job too. You might not know, but and I was surprised to learn that I think that there are 35 or 36 standing committees or boards within the racing industry, and the TBA sits or is represented on every one. Claire sits on so many that I'm not sure that she'd ever get off a Zoom. Julian sits on a lot, I sit on a lot, Peter sits on a lot, but without our presence there, the voice of you as the breeding industry just wouldn't be heard. It's absolutely vital that we're there and that we make the case on behalf of the industry. And I'm going to talk a little bit in a couple of minutes about how we really do and can influence the way that things happen for the breeding industry and for the breed of the thoroughbred. Education and training is important to us. We work jointly with the National Stud in providing an excellent programme of training, but we also provide training facilities and platforms for you. During the last year, COVID has interrupted the stud farming course and all of the other courses that we were able to do. But watch this space, because there is going to be a very new, innovative, exciting announcement, great benefit to all of the membership and to the industry as a whole in the very near future. So watch this space, something coming to a cinema near you very soon. I'm very excited about it. The TBA is very excited about it, and we think it's going to make a big difference. We support you as members all of the time. We're there for you. You can always get through to somebody at Stansted House, even through the difficulties of the last 12 months. Be it legal, be it financial, whatever it is, the TBA are there to support you and give you whatever guidance and advice that they possibly can. We're big into veterinary research, and a significant amount of our funds are directed in there. It's important because along with the levy board who support veterinary research, if we didn't do it and if the levy board didn't do it, then it wouldn't get done. And there are so many important things that we need to identify and move forward as far as veterinary work is concerned. The industry has changed so dramatically in the last 20 years, and of course it's going to change again. And the TBA is going to be and continue to be at the forefront of that. I mentioned earlier when I was talking about industry representation, how the TBA can make a real difference, and does make a real difference. You know, I said that we have voices on every committee, and people do and that we are listened to and that our views are taken into account. Of course, there would be, because we're the production line, the supply line for the British racehorse and the British racing industry. I've been a board member now for, this is my 9th year. And that when I first joined the board, we started making overtures to the BHA on 2 fronts. And that they were both for mares and fillies initiative, both over jumps and on the flat. As a consequence, we can take great credit in Honeysuckle winning the champion hurdle, because the TBA and the BHA jointly have promoted the mares scheme and the enhancement of the racing programme, the elite mares scheme and MOPS, that has started to make the difference as far as racing and breeding and the commercial value of mares in national hunt racing. And that is a programme that is only going to go stronger and stronger. But great to see a British bred win the champion hurdle, despite the fact that there was a sea of green around it. As far as the flat was concerned, we made exactly the same overtures, and that we said that the broodmare band in the United Kingdom was the gold dust of the British thoroughbred, and it needed protecting and encouraging and opportunities enhancing. And that we didn't have a lot of money, there wasn't a lot of money available, but we persuaded the BHA to introduce an enhanced racing programme for fillies and mares. We initiated the This Filly You Can programme, which was a marketing campaign designed to promote the attractiveness of fillies and mares as racing prospects. And in addition to that, we were able to get a finals day at Newmarket with the support of the EBF. Out of all of these things, developed the Great British Bonus. That it was always our aim, and that it took 8 years to get it to become a reality. A year ago, we were talking and that we were on, off, and that we wondered whether we could launch it or not. And it wasn't until May, with the support of the levy board and that with a reduced level of funding, that we were able to launch the Great British Bonus. Since June the 1st last year, when we launched it, we've now paid out over 1.8 million in bonuses. That's 50 jumps winners, over 50 jumps winners now, and 72 flat winners. On the flat this year, and there are over 850 Great British Bonus races to go for. It's making a difference everywhere, and it's making a difference in the sales ring. That at Goff's Premier Sale last year, if you had a GBB registered filly, that would make 40% more than a similar GBB eligible but not registered filly. It's made a difference to small owners. We had 3 multiple bonus winners that won £60,000. A filly called Blackberry that was trained by Brian Smart won 3 bonuses. As I said, it's making a difference everywhere, and it needs supporting and encouraging. We've just finished our first stages of registration, and that we've now got 848 2-year-olds in the scheme. Now, the interesting thing about that is that there were 2,326 filly foals born in the UK that were eligible in the 2019 crop. We captured 1,228 of those at the foal registration, so 50% of breeders weren't convinced about GBB at that time. We kept 1,128 of those as yearling stages, and then it distilled down to 848 at the 2-year-old, which I just mentioned. And this is not surprising, because some of them were exported, some of them went to other racing domains, but it's a great opportunity. Don't miss out on the Great British Bonus. As I said, we've finished our 3 registration processes, and that we can now build on that, and that we expect to build on it. Yearling registrations close on the 31st of May. That's for the 2020 crop. So make sure that you get on the GBB website platform and complete. There are no allowances for late entry. If you miss the deadline, you've missed the opportunity. And there is such an opportunity, both for you as breeders, both for people who buy your stock or race your stock, and for the industry completely. And finally, 2221 foal registrations will open on the 15th of July. That will give us plenty of time to get the GSB returns in place, and that will be open until the 30th of September. So GBB is working for all of us. We have ambitions and aspirations about it, but we're hugely appreciative of the levy board supporting it, and appreciative of all the breeders that have welcomed it so much. Great opportunity. I'm very proud of it. The TBA, it's a TBA initiative. And so, as I said to you, why wouldn't you be a member of the TBA? 150 quid, it's the best money you'll ever spend. Thank you very much.